58-year-old Diane Hawke has been arrested after driving a golf cart drunk onto a freeway and refusing to comply with officers' commands. The incident occurred at around 7:40 p.m. on the 30th of July 2022, when the authorities responded to a call about a woman who'd been driving a golf cart erratically northbound on the Interstate 95 in Brevard County, Florida, near mile marker 167. When officers arrived, they saw a semi-truck on the right shoulder of the freeway near a stationary white golf cart. A semi-truck driver was in possession of the golf cart keys and handed it to one of the officers. A female officer approached Diane, who was sitting in the driver's side of the golf cart. Diane seemed disorientated and argumentative. She was asked for her ID when she handed over a restaurant card. After repeating the request, she offered a credit card. When asked why she was driving on Interstate 95, she reportedly said she needed to get to State Route 528, and it was legal because she saw it on the news. The officer noted that Diane had slurred speech and spoke with a thick tongue and reeked of alcohol. Diane, however, denied having anything to drink. The truck driver told the officer that she observed the driver in the golf cart in the center lane of the freeway passing out while driving. She said she used the semi-truck to guide the golf cart off the road. She said she then took the keys away as she attempted to drive back onto the freeway, and she became combative and argumentative. The officer guided Diane into the patrol car, but she resisted several times before saying she needed her bag before going into the vehicle. The officer got Diane's bag and found an open bottle of Jack Daniel's whiskey. While Diane was read her Miranda rights, she refused to talk and started physically resisting arrest after multiple attempts were made for her to comply. Diane was booked into the Brevard County Jail at just after 12:30 a.m. on the 31st of July on charges of disorderly intoxication and resisting an officer without violence. She was released on bond the same day at 10:45 p.m. 59-year-old Daryl Young is behind bars and has been charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder in a shooting that took place at a cattle farm in rural Queensland, Australia, that stemmed from an ongoing boundary dispute along Shannon Vale Road in Bogey. 71-year-old cattle farmer Mervyn Schwartz, his 59-year-old wife Marie, and a 35-year-old son Graham Ty were all shot execution style near the gates of Daryl's property. Graham's brother Ross Ty was shot in the stomach, but he managed to flee from the scene after being hit. He then drove his red ute more than 40 kilometres to a neighbouring farm to raise the alarm. He was then flown to the Mackay Hospital in a critical condition and underwent emergency surgery later that night. He's now in a serious but stable condition in the intensive care unit, and the police were able to interview him. The authorities said that Mervyn and Daryl had a phone conversation on the night of the 3rd of August and arranged to meet at the fence of Daryl's property sometime before 9 a.m. the following morning to discuss an ongoing boundary dispute. Mervyn had reportedly been warned about a feud with the neighbours after buying the 30,000-hectare farm for $10 million last year, but he believed he could handle it. Daryl is said to be a long-time Bogey resident and is well known among the farming community. Daryl is charged with 3 counts of murder and 1 count of attempted murder. He will appear in the Proserpine Magistrates Court on the 8th of August. On the 31st of July 2022, 28-year-old homeless man Christopher Lockett was arrested and charged with several offences relating to the disappearance of 7-year-old Ashton Lehman of Fountain, Colorado, after he was discovered in a chicken coop. Lockett had known Ashton for about a week. They met across the road from a 7-Eleven store located at 601 South Santa Fe Avenue. He would see Ashton from time to time, and eventually they spoke to each other outside a thrift store called Connie's Cupboard. Lockett would refer to Ashton as his little homie, and just after 2:30 p.m. on the 30th of July, Lockett asked him if he wanted to go on a hike, to which Ashton agreed. They first stopped by the 7-Eleven for a drink, before leaving the store at 2:43 p.m. and headed towards the creek. Lockett then called another man, Christopher Davison, for a ride, and both Lockett and Ashton got into the car. It was in the car that Lockett and Davison began smoking weed, eventually sharing it with Ashton. At around 5 p.m, the three drove to Ashton's home, where Ashton asked his mother for permission to stay with friends, and when she said no, Ashton walked back to the car and told them that he in fact had permission, and once again left with them. Lockett then contacted his drug dealer to purchase meth, and after purchasing the drugs, Lockett, Ashton, and Davison went to Davison's home in Falcon, where Lockett smoked the meth in front of Ashton. He reportedly exhaled the drug away from Ashton's direction. All three of them stayed at the house for the night. That same night, Ashton's mother did not check to see if Ashton returned home before she went to bed. The following morning, on the 31st of July, she woke up and noticed Ashton wasn't home, and at 9:21 a.m. she reported him missing. Ashton and the two men left Davison's residence at around 5:15 a.m. on the 31st of July and went to a different location, where they stayed in a shed that was set up as a chicken coop. Ashton tried to leave the chicken coop several times, but Lockett told him he was not allowed to leave. At one point, Lockett put a lock on the door. Eventually he handed Ashton the key, but told Ashton that he was not allowed to leave. While searching for Ashton, detectives reviewed surveillance footage from 7-Eleven and spoke to people who said that Ashton was seen alone at several different homeless encampments and businesses in the days before his disappearance. He was last seen with Lockett and another male. An employee at Connie's cupboard had a screenshot of Lockett's Facebook profile, which had his date of birth and that he lived in Fountain. The investigators searched the database and contacted Lockett's aunt, who told the authorities where they were able to find him. At around 2:30 p.m. on the 31st of July, officers pinpointed Ashton's location and the two men in the shed and took Lockett and Davison into custody. Lockett told investigators that around the morning of the 31st of July, he began to feel that something wasn't right about the situation and felt that he should take Ashton home. Lockett's held at the El Paso County Jail on a $3,000 bond. He's charged with kidnapping, contributing to the delinquency of a minor, and reckless endangerment. Davison is not facing any charges. The boy's mother, 34-year-old Amber Miller, faces a charge of child abuse. Against the advice of the Fountain Police Department, the Department of Human Services placed Ashton back into the home with his mother. The authorities are asking for the public's help in finding a man who allegedly poured gasoline on two people in a possible hate crime. The incident occurred just before 11 p.m. on the 23rd of July 2022, when an unknown suspect confronted Spanish-speaking customers at the Rocket gas station, located at 1100 South Havana Street in Aurora, Colorado. According to the police, he told them they don't belong here and followed them to their car. The suspect allegedly sprayed the victims with gasoline and looked for a lighter to set them on fire. He then reportedly threw a rock through the back window and stole their keys. One of the gas workers drove into the lot as the suspect was leaving. Police described the suspect as a 20 to 25-year-old male and standing between 5'6" to 5'9" tall. They also described the suspect as Hispanic or Asian. Anyone with information about the crime is urged to contact Crime Stoppers